Let's try. Good enough for me. Yeah, Baron. It should not be that much off, but it'll be a little bit of variance. Yeah. I felt pretty consistent in the intro stage. Yato Cargo, however, who I did not talk about, I felt like I ended up resetting a lot over Yato Cargo. Yeah, that's about right, Baron, because my capture card is offset by 220 milliseconds, so it's something in that range. Yes, so right there, I was doing like a 1-2, 1-2, 1 tech. And the idea of Yato Cargo is that when he gets down to having 1 health left, that's when he aggressively leaves his pattern and jumps to the other side. So the delta of time between the 4th hit and 5th hit, for which 5 hits kill him, you want the delta between the 4th hit and the 5th hit to be very, very narrow, so that you can catch him before he jumps across. But yeah, very standard intro stage. That fight was fine. It wasn't the fastest kill, but like, that's no problem. I think I maybe had a stage error here. Let's see. Oh, nice. We already missed our first split. Isn't that cool? What's up, Nox? Yeah, I did have a stage error, which I kind of like allow up to 1, you know? But in that case, it's not that bad because you actually have to wait for the platforms to disintegrate. Yeah, this timing here of trying to get cleaner about these slide chains. When I was talking about my method before of sliding your fingers from the cross to circle buttons to do a double tap for the slide input, that section in the middle of Grenade Man was pretty influenced by that. Alright, so this, you'll see the new Urun that I used to do a kicking strategy, but now I get in his face, and this is new for me as of this grind. And this right here is this like 1-2-1 pattern that I was talking about earlier. That was a relatively good kill. You can go faster for sure. The very fastest Uruns are when he goes for a dive and you manage to defeat him right before he finishes his dive, because he's very close to the bottom. Hey, thanks, Boss Grab. Yeah, I missed that too, unfortunate, because I felt very consistent about that skip. Not skip, that tech, but I blew it up. But I did do the monopelin destroy tech without losing speed on the bike. Yes, that looked pretty good. So I worked, I didn't talk about this earlier, but Grenade Man I worked on quite a bit too. I tried to come up with like consistent positioning. So this here, tanking that hit is fine, but it's about like, right, that preemptive slide there is a result of a lot of, how do I say this? Oh yeah, here I waited a little bit so that he specifically had another pattern so he didn't jump, and now he jumps, and then you finish him off. In this case, I actually could have used a full charge shot. But that was a pretty good fight. Yeah. Getting hit by the first flash bomb sometimes happens based on like how far into the screen you start from your slide chaining and how you react, but can we split, man? I've been split in 3 times. Nice splits. Just over here talking, trying to remember what to talk about. All right, Frost Man, we're gonna do it. But yeah, I mean, that was a pretty good kill. So that was like a 503, maybe 504 kill, with a pretty good Urun. My very fastest Grenade Mans were 459, and any run that had a 459 Grenade Man was like saucing. So, you know, a few seconds slower than that, it's not so bad. I did make technically 2 stage errors, but the first one is not that consequential, and the second one kind of feels bad, but pretty good. Like, fine start. Also, the first screen of Frostman here is way more deceptively evil than it might seem. It is very easy to just, like, be a little bit off rhythm with the Pen DXs. But thankfully it worked out here. Yeah, there's just no splits on this one. It's just a myth. But yeah, with my split timing, assuming it actually existed, anything that's around 520 for the transition out of Grenade Man is pretty good. And that's what it was here. It is a whopping 17 seconds from the time you defeat the boss to the time of the transition. Assuming you're in the center of the screen. Which actually was something I tried to work on a lot too, like better positioning myself to be at the center of the screen, especially for the latter half of the 4 robots. Well, 8 robots, I guess. Robots 5 through 8 where it's more relevant. I guess Clown Man too, yeah. It's just different for the first 4 because you collect evil energy. That was good. Yeah, so this next screen coming up is where I used to back off, but I started to, you know, with the slide chaining right here, I started to go for this. And I don't think it's that bad. It just takes some getting used to. Nice 1-up. All right, we're gonna split. We're gonna split. So anything that hovered around Frostman split of 10 minutes meant that you're like on a decent run. But really, the way it would go in attempts would be, if my grenade split wasn't satisfying to me, meaning that it was like 522 or higher, I would typically just reset. I almost always reset on an Urun dive. There were very few cases where I didn't because the iframe situation worked out. But once you get through Grenade Man, and let's just say you have a pretty satisfactory Grenade Man, really, you're probably not going to reset until you get through Duo. Because even if you have kind of a bad Clown Man, you should fight Duo to see whether or not he gives you an above average pattern to make up for a bad Clown Man. And Tengu Man, although he is difficult, I didn't find he was like a significant source of randomness unless he gave you a very, very bad pattern. Yeah, in this case, I got knocked back, and I actually do have to do a little bit of a walk here, which is definitely unfortunate. Alright, I'm splitting. But overall, nice, 959. Even so far, like the good parts are good. I know it's a little hard to see that the slide chaining is kind of like effective, but the slide chains are pretty good generally. There have been some minor errors, but it's all right. Again, anything around 950, well, under 10 minutes for Frost Man is good. It's good. See how this goes. Yeah, like that slide chain was a little sloppy. But not so bad. See this this right here? Yeah, that was good. That was not good. That was because I thought that the final 10 crow was going to not get hit by the ice wave and still be there. So I was ready to pivot, which does sometimes happen. But yeah, missed the slide chain there, unfortunately. Thankfully, in the this stage, you get moved forward, so you're not literally coming to a halt. But typically, when you slide in this game, you're moving at 3 pixels a second. 3 pixels a second, 3 pixels a frame. But in Tengu Man stage, when you're going from left to right, you're moving 4 pixels a frame. Basically, in Tengu Man stage, everything gets +1 while you're moving, if you're moving in the direction of the wind. Like looking at this back, I would say that even so far, there've been like a few more stage errors than I would usually have, but none of these are like consequential at all. They're just minor. And like the good parts are good too. Like the end of the Grenade Man stage before Grenade Man 2 was quite good. I'm surprised though that I had to walk for the evil energy in Frostman's fight, because that pretty rarely happens. Because you just need to be like in the center of the screen for that. But something that happens. Oh, okay. So I got beat here, which is good, right? We love our bird friend. But something I started to do in this grind was that if I didn't get beat on the first party ball, you can actually spawn another party ball if you get your health under 50%. So I started doing that. If I failed to get beat, I would just damage boost to get down to 50 to roll another chance. And if you didn't get beat on the second party ball, the idea is that you want to collect party members along the way, so that by the time you got to the third one, every roll for which you get 5 rolls would be a 50%. I kind of feel like I'm explaining Steiner math. Basically, you give yourself another party ball if you damage boost under 50%. Yeah, definitely Baron. Steiner. Alright, let's see how this segment goes. I know, Bick, it's true. Alright, that was okay. I lost a few frames on the second platform slide, but that looked pretty good. Also, I mean, that was like relatively clean. I saw a few pixels of, or really a few frames of movement. Could have been a little bit better, but it was okay. Alright, I'm ready to split. So that is the worst opening pattern where he goes off screen, but yeah, that one I missed a little bit. In this case, oh, that really sucks. Pretty subpar fight, but a very good end. To be in the center like that, and to get that pattern, is pretty good. Getting hit by the Kamai Tachi was not common. I didn't have that happen often. But this was like okay. This is actually probably one of the weaker boss fights in the run because being around. Oh fuck! God damn! I'm just trying so hard to explain, man. Yeah, that was definitely one of the worst boss fights and one of the worst splits, which is going to inflate the CC roll split. So yeah, I mean, candidly speaking, this run is off to an okay start. It's not great, but it's also not bad, right? I want to be somewhere in the 1454 to 15 range for Tengu, and it actually was 1459, not 1501 as it shows. But that fight was weak. I would say it was weak. So at some point, you know, with how random this game is, some things need to turn around. Which it will. This looks really good, yes. No problematic trains. That segment is actually harder to deal with than you might think with how some of the trains spawn. But that was super, super clean. Very good. You can technically save a little bit of time if trains move with you and you can jump on their back and get a little boosty forward, which is actually kind of sick. But that didn't happen. But there was no problems either, so I would gladly take it. I worked on this fight a lot too with like deboosting appropriately. That was a really good hit because it's very suspect. Yeah, and there I cleaned up in case he went up in the previous pattern. I'm not memeing, dude. I'm just explaining. That was good. That was good. Nice. Oh yeah, that strat at the beginning of this stage was actually a new strat as of this grind, where I would approach it differently. That was good. But yeah, very clean stage and good CC roll fight. Yeah, nice gold split. That looked good. Yep, very good. Very good. That was a really clean exit to that, too. And we got a very good slide chain between the transition after that segment, so very clean. This, I noticed I was going to spawn the kick you in the balloons. He was going to go to the right, so I backed off and repositioned, and I'm very glad I did, because I probably would have just beefed it. Extremely good Clown Man stage up until this point, so let's see. Thunder Carnival, but he exited relatively quickly and then he gave me this pattern, which is the best pattern to get, and then he finished it like this. Yeah, and that's definitely good. There is some tech that you can do to ride the tornado hold up and preemptively hit him. But it means that you are at the mercy of where your tornado hold is, and you can also, waste time by walking to the center of the screen. So in that case, I just stayed at the center of the screen. I would say 1830 for Clown Man is like pretty good. It's about average, I would say, for most of my attempts. That Clown Man stage was like overall very good though. And even though he gave me a Thunder Carnival, the way it works out is that he just got hit as he was going into iframes, right? And then he left Thunder Carnival one cycle early, which he sometimes does. So long story short, it wasn't that much time loss. Okay, that is a blunder. I would say that's like the first real mistake of the run that's like kind of consequential. Missing your shot. It is a difficult shot because if you fire too early, nothing comes out because you're in the middle of a loading screen, and if you fire too late, then you just whiff like I did. It is difficult. Anyways, he gave me was that 2 blue balls, but it managed to work out such that it was still a pretty good fight. So my very best duo time was 1938, which is about 10 seconds faster than this, which is a decent amount of time. But I would say keeping it around, yeah, under 1950, you can work with it. My perspective from here is like, if you can get through Duo and keep it around 19.4x, if you're at the high point of 19.4x, you're probably gonna need to get Astro Man skip and you need him to cooperate. That's like the concession I would make. Basically, I would, if I'm in this kind of run, I'm at a high 4x or a low 5x, and I'm like, is it really worth continuing? I would play it through Garone, and if I got above average luck, then I would just keep going. But if I didn't, I would just reset. Especially the Astro Man skip. Okay, so this is what I was talking about before. I changed my strats for this. And I would do this tech, so looks good. That was nice. Nice and clean. First try, very nice. The theory TAS, yeah. I would say if I had to estimate my success rate out of this last grind. Actually, let's look afterwards. I want to look at how many recordings I have and how much time it is. In addition to anything that I've done on stream. If I had to guess, my success rate would probably be a little bit over half for the Astro Man skip. First try, which saves about 7 seconds. Very clean. Astro 1, very good. That's a new tech, but it is not that much better than before. In this case, I missed the slide, if you saw, so I decided to back off on the very fastest strat. So a little suboptimal there, but correctly identifying that if I went for one of the slides on the disappearing platforms, I would have missed it and just died. So I did like an on-the-fly adjustment there, and it saved my life. Okay, so at this point in the run, you know, my duo split was like a little subpar, but still fine. Got the Astro Man skip, but I'm still looking to make sure that like Astro Man and Garone in particular are like good. And this guy, he has a way of completely wasting your time and potentially just straight up killing you with Astro Crush. So he's off to a pretty good start. In the grand scheme of all the patterns that he gives you, he's doing pretty good. So he gives me Astro Crush here, but if you actually, yeah, I mean, basically we're paying attention. I had him in iframes pretty much that whole time. So despite giving me Astro Crush, I'm ready to split. That was actually a really good fight. For a somewhat chaotic pattern, it was a very good fight. He can give you the God pattern, for which he stays on the right side and then does the like orbital swoop. I'm calling it the orbital swoop, where his satellites are just going in a elliptical pattern. And he can just do that 3 times in a row, save you a whole bunch of time. But that was still pretty good. All right, I had trouble over the course of this grind of doing the upper part of this room well with the Shellin enemy right here. Let's see how it goes. Yeah, exactly. That was smart. That was smart, me. I knew that if you're a little bit too close to him, your Mega Ball just gets wasted. So I backed off a little bit, but that was the right call. And then I didn't get the full boost up here, but then here he is, my friend Garone. Great start. Unfortunate, but I didn't get owned by platforms. That was 2 hits there, which is good. Nice D-boost. Another D-boost. He did not go away. A little chaotic, but believe me, that is a way above average Garone. We split. Sure. I forgot that I had a Garone split. That was really good. I didn't talk about it before, but Garone, since the last time of playing the game, I learned more about the way that the background cycles over time. And I tried for a short period of time to see whether or not I can like learn how to manipulate the cycle ending. But the TLDR is that that fight is so crazy that trying to do that is, I think you need like 4,000 IQ to pull it off, in addition to like optimizing the fight itself. But that was a really good Garone. Like, we missed a few opportunities for some attacks, but he generally stayed in front of the screen, and we got some good hits in. So at this point, you know, I had like a okay, not bad, but like not great duo split, and we are like cruising on pace right now. It's very, very good. Astro Man skip, good Astro Man fight, good Garone. We are so back. Insane gold split with some extra juicing. Okay, so in my opinion, Swordman 1 is the hardest stage to execute. Followed closely by Searchman 2. I changed my strategy for this grind on the first screen. Oh, this right here is actually new tech, where I would intentionally do some damage, reverse D-boost, and then slide in to make sure that I guaranteed getting the slide in. And I found that to be very successful. Right here, this is new tech for using Thunderclaw here and then using Thunderclaw here. I think this went a little bit... No, this was good. I had a previous run, I think yesterday, where I blew it up and had to use Tornado Hold. But anyways, that's new tech for me, and I got really sick of the lack of consistency with using Tornado Hold, so I came up with tech for using Thunderclaw. This looks great, by the way. Good, we got the charge. It is difficult to land that Thunderclaw and then start charging your Buster, and then by the time you land, be able to fire a fully charged Buster, but we did it. This, you intentionally have to like burn a few frames, specifically right here, so that one of the lava plumes doesn't get you. All right, let's see the pattern. What do we get? Oh, if you haven't noticed, we've been jumping into stuff like these teleporters. This right here was one of the ball jumps that I backed off on because I was losing some runs to it. Yellow, red, green is, I mean, to be honest with you, one of the worst patterns, but it's not that big of a deal. Missed that jump, unfortunately. I would say over the course of this grind, my gear na eye quick kills were extremely good. I investigated a few patterns, for which this is actually one of the harder patterns, but it's potentially one of the fastest. You hit him with one water balloon, and then you have to very narrowly time the first flash bomb, so that you can do enough damage that you don't do more than half damage, basically. Because if you do more than half damage, then he goes into his slow pattern. But if you do just under half, you can keep it. I started doing a jump into that purple platform because based on your sub-pixel, you might land on the left side of that platform. This is a mistake, but that was a good backup. It is a pretty awkward jump. I lost one run to getting hit by this bat and just flailing helplessly into the lava. Also, I'll say that entering the Sword Man screen under 30 minutes is like cooking, right? When you watch this run back, you see some of the pain points and you're like, you know, maybe we could have done a little bit better, but I promise you, like, we're schmoovin'. The good parts are actually quite good in this run. This is a really clean finish. He didn't give me a flame cross, and I managed to end in the center of the screen with 3 hits left throughout his pattern. But I worked on this a lot in practice. And that was a really, really good finish. So my benchmark would be if I was under 31 minutes leaving Sword Man. It felt really good. So to be 20 seconds under it was one of the few times where I would get through 8 robots, well that's 7 robots, but be in the middle of 8 robots and be like, this run really does have a chance to make it through. And this only happened a few times, but this is definitely one of the runs where I'm like, okay, let's keep it together, make it to Bly King, and see whether or not it's real, but we're on pretty solid pace right now. Good. We get this, that's good. It's not hard, but you can mess it up if you're a few frames off on buffering your movement. Nice little hop. See how clean this is. That bird, I forgot about that. The rest of that was so clean, but then he... Murigatori, the nemesis of no damage runs. Okay, good. Nice and clean. I think oh no, this one I got, good. Getting some of my runs mixed up. Here, I backed off a little bit in recent strategy, but this looks good. One of those slide chains was a little iffy, but otherwise that was actually quite clean. Let me see how this goes. Do we deboost? Yes. And it's pretty standard that you don't defeat all of those Anbu batons. This is looking pretty good. Deboost here. No bad green birds here. That was good. I could see like a few frames here and there that it was off, but generally that was clean. Just one bush. Yes. 3303 was my 8 robots PB by about 6 seconds. And for all intents and purposes, like really fast. So this run has a chance, you know? Very good. I think the beginning was a little iffy, but it was definitely not nearly bad enough to consider resetting. And then robots 5 through 8 were super, super good. You got the Astro Man skip, you got a good Astro Man fight, and then Garone cooperated. Got the gear in the eye. Quick kill, Sword Man did not give me Flame Sword pattern. And the Search Man stage was like pretty good. So all in, clean. It is too bad that we had the Grenade Man error at the beginning. Just like part of screen 1, basically. Because I felt over the course of this grind that my Grenade Man, like, I mean, you would do it so much as you did attempts. Just felt like I was pretty consistent about it, but not there. Oh yeah, also, it's like very nerve-wracking doing this segment when you're on pace, because you've done it a million times, but you kind of autopilot it. So you have to kind of not think about it. You intentionally walk a little bit there. All right, good. That's what I was talking about before. Good. Let's see how long this lineup takes me. That's about the audio cue that I'm looking for. You do this so that you can line up this first hit to the best of your ability. That was a fine stage, though. All right, good. We got it. From here, right, this is the tech I was talking about before, which is new to me, using Flash Bomb to preemptively defeat one of the middle platforms. He's giving me very nice spawn patterns. There's a lot of weapon swapping that's happening during this too. I think this one yeah, I could have hit that one faster, but he despawned pretty quickly, and then the final part of that fight was really fast. So that was a great Atenamino. Good spawns, good position at the end there. All around fantastic Wily one. So, you know, at this point, I'm like we're cooking, right? I'm on my fastest 8 robots time ever. Just had a good Wily one. And I'm just like, let's go. Let's go. But, you know, a little nervous. I'm not really nervous until I'm in Wily 3. So that is a somewhat common mistake. That third ball jump, we'd have to like investigate it to show. That third ball jump is actually a little deceptively difficult, because it has to do with the way that it spawns with the platform that you're approaching. Whatever. So I had to jump on the ball and get up there. I would say I probably lost about like 2 seconds in this stage, maybe 1.5 seconds. It wasn't that bad, but you saw some of the deboost didn't work out quite well. This is a very hard stage to get everything to go well. But that wasn't the cleanest of Wily 2s, but it's also like, in the grand scheme of things, it's not that big of a deal. The climb was generally good. Believe me, the climb in particular can go to complete hell if you accidentally grab the ladder or you get hit by an enemy that you didn't mean to. So, not the best, but not bad. The reverse deboost after the ladder is definitely unfortunate to fail, but it is better than whatever. It's better than some alternative where you have to wait for the shield attacker, Oni attacker. Anyways, yeah, at this point in the run, you know, you have to manage your health here, and I was like a little concerned if I was gonna die to this guy, but I was like, you know, no, trust in your ability to do math and read pixels. It was fine. You intentionally take a critical damage boost. All right, so we're here. This is my best run ever. Wily 1 was really clean. Wily 2 was okay, but you know, we're here. Let's see what Bliking has to say. So not the best pattern. Gives me this. It's still okay. Now it's starting to get bad. Horizontal wings is the worst thing that can happen in this position. I get another flame in. Then he gives me the good pattern. But I position this well, and this was part of the some recent practice that I did with the way the damage values work. That turned out to be a 3 cycle instead of a 2 cycle. So not the best Bliking. We didn't get the, you know, immediate RNG payout of getting the best Bliking, but we managed to mitigate it in such a way that we didn't lose that much time. There was definitely a period of time for which I thought, like, you're realistically not keeping up with your best times, or the, you know, Ursa's time if you're not getting perfect bliking. But as we see, it really didn't lose that much time. And I started to realize that, like, the worst blikings can absolutely just bleed 25 seconds. All right, we grabbed the ladder there. So that's a new strat that I do, but that jump, that almost just killed the run. So, freaking out a little bit, you know? At this point in the run, I'm like nervous, but I feel pretty confident about Wily 3 in general, because I'm the type that practices the end game in speedruns a lot. And I practice Wily 3 so much because I realize this. I realize that if you get a run through bliking, you don't want to be nervous and uncomfortable in Wily 3. So I practice like every variance of every strat so that in case something goes wrong. Even still, that was a pretty uncommon scenario to jump too early to bonk your head on the previous countdown bomb. But, you know, we recovered. Anyways, this is a super, super good start to Forte. He went down twice, which means that I get the maximum amount of fully charged buster shots. Him going up like this isn't that bad, but at this point in the fight, it's pretty okay. And then he goes down one more time, and you can see that he's dead. That was a super, super good Forte fight. I'll take that Forte fight any day of the week. That deboost is not appropriate. That one is appropriate. So that was a mistake on the wall tech. Slide chain messed up there. Little suspect. But honestly, like, I'm not that nervous, but I'm like kind of nervous, you know? So, you know, let's just get through Wily 3. It's okay. Missing the slide chain at the bottom of the second part of Wily 3 looked like the worst part of all of that. The first deboost, whatever. But, I mean, the climb was good, and getting through the pit section was good, so. All right, Green Devil. Again, 4 different patterns for Green Devil. We're hoping for the classic Yellow Devil pattern, and that's what we get. This is about 2 seconds slower than the very fastest, but it is many, many seconds faster than the slower patterns. So, happy to get this. So my benchmark here is that, you know, most of my runs would get here around the 43 flat mark. So the fact that I'm 42, 43, I'm like, this is like, we have a real attempt here. This is it. Just execute well, do what you can. Okay, weapon swapping looks good. Sword Man, and this is exactly what RDD was saying before. Not only once, you have to fight him twice. And remember, he was good the first time. And what does he do? Fire cross? Fire cross. So he just wasted straight up like 9 seconds. Which, you know, is pretty demoralizing when you're on your fastest run of all time that can make it. The finish was really good though, because it was the same thing as before, where I was able to finish the fight cleanly by getting him 3 hits away and then positioning myself with clean hits to defeat him. Those kind of Swordman fights make me not want to play this game. Yeah, I mean, that's a simple way of saying it. Really good finish. Also, something I started doing as part of this grind, if you notice, I positioned myself to be facing left so that my slide out of the teleporter was cleaner. You waste at least 1 frame transitioning from right to left before you buffer a slide, so you can more efficiently slide out if you're facing the direction that you're gonna leave. Also, yeah, we've been jumping into these teleporters, which saves some time. We're getting bushed. This one I might be able to pull off the right tech. Let's see. Yeah, I did. Cool. Okay, so in my previous PB from, 2018, Astro Man was really, really rude. And he can be really annoying. But he swoosed, and he swoosed hard, but I managed to catch it. So Swordman started out with the literal worst pattern, and then so far refights have been good. Maybe one too many bushes from Searchman, but good. The right side of the screen besides Swordman is not very hard though. This is also not difficult either, but you want to end this. Well, one, you want to try to start limiting the amount of damage you take because you want to try to go into the final fight with max health. But if you want to do this fight as, frame perfectly as possible, you really want to be up in his grill, and you specifically want to end his fight being as close to him as possible so that you can collect. There is a way, like it's pattern dependent, but basically you can have it so that you're deboosting through him, similar to Aqua Man, where you defeat him with Flash Bomb while you're on the energy that spawns. Okay. I would say that Tengu Man is probably the last real execution checkpoint of the run. Very good, very good. That's a result of new tech, of being able to hit him like that. So we missed a few hits here, but I'm able to do it again. I basically missed out on what, even with iframes, that was one buster shot, so I could have finished that a little bit quicker. But that was a really, really good Tengu Man, because he gave me a nice pattern, so even if he swooses away, the fact that you can get 4 clean Ice Wave hits does over half of his damage, or his health. There, I actually missed the fully charged shot. It's the same thing that happened in Duo before, but it is much less consequential due to the way the math works out against Clown Man. Anyways, he's off to a good start, gave me the best pattern, and then did not give me a Thunder Carnival there, which just basically means he was really good. That was a really good fight. So, Swordman is the #1 source of RNG, and then I would say that Tengu Man and Clown Man together are difficult to execute RNG spikes. He didn't give me the best pattern here, but the finish is very clean. Yes. So, at this point, we are under 48 minutes entering. Nice transition. And I know that it's game time. Unless I mess up Machine 1, we're gonna do it. It's gonna be close, but we can do it. And I was saying before that I spent a lot of time on Machine 1, and just, if I had a lot of health, I would feel comfortable deboosting into the machine. I actually missed a text transition there. That was a little slow. But yeah, I'm kind of nervous now, But the hard part's sort of gone, right? We just need to finish out, and I've got max health, so I'm feeling good about it. See how this first hit looks like. That was pretty okay. It's hard to do a slide and then execute. But this is looking actually quite good. The overlapping is looking nice. Yeah, there I had to make sure the laser cannon didn't come out. I saw a few frames that were maybe suboptimal there. But overall, that was a really, really good Machine 1. Yeah. He didn't give me annoying ball projectile patterns, and he just did the spike wheel, which is very easy to manage. So through the transition, it usually is about a minute 25 after you defeat Machine 1. So I looked over at the timer, I was like, okay, just don't mess up any of these hits and we'll be okay. I very infrequently had problems with this fight, but it's also one that you have to respect, right? Even there, I lost a few frames on that hit. So you can start to bleed. Yeah, that's Astro Crush. That's the tech I was talking about before. Alright, we are ready to split, I promise. Right. I actually bled some time there, but I didn't want to deboost into him. And there it is. GG. I don't think we watched the whole anime sequence here, but we did watch the whole ending. But yeah, very good. I think watching it back, you know, when you see the mistakes, the little things here and there, they kind of poke out, but generally I feel pretty good about it. Like, the good parts were very good and clean. And I think when things went wrong in this run, I was able to course correct quickly. But like you saw, right? You saw that Bliking didn't give me the best pattern. Swordman literally opened up the refights with a terrible start. But the good parts were good. What really made this run... Yeah, right here. That's exactly right. I did not see Thank You Duo. But we're gonna see Dong Man for sure. But yeah, this kind of run, man, it's just... Like, when you watch one run, you just don't get the crazy amount of variety that can happen in this game. I had a run yesterday where... Was it yesterday? I think it was yesterday. It was at the time... No, I was describing this before. Yeah, it was at the time the fastest run I had through Swordman, and then Swordman opened up with 2 flame crosses, didn't move after his second move, and then gave me 3 flame crosses, which is like quite literally the worst pattern. Because usually, even if he does 2 flame crosses, which we saw, waste a whole bunch of time, he will typically do a pattern afterwards for which he moves and you can get him to be at the side of the screen so he can't flame cross you anymore. And it's stuff like that that just like, it just completely saps all of your strength. You're just like, man, I'm playing so well and consistently, and you just get waxed. And I think compared to maybe some other speedruns, there are so many inflection points for which you can just lose your run. Like, you can have a run that is very good and consistent up through Garone, and then Garone goes behind the waterfall 5 times, makes you bleed 17 seconds, and it's over, right? Bliking can literally just like waste your time with horizontal wings and waste all of your ammo. So, you know, it's easy to look at, from my perspective, to look at this and be like, yeah, you know, things were good, but maybe we could have cleaned up a little bit of stuff here and there. But, you know, as we showed before, this, right? It was like the result of a lot of effort. And I was going pretty hard too, right? I was like kind of degenning it. So I'll take what I can get. Dong Man, thank you. But yeah, GG's. Very happy with it. I don't know what happens from here, but it's just exhausting. It's one of the most exhausting speedruns. But I knew I could do it. It's just, there's just, I mean, I keep saying it, there's just so much variance. It's fun to play, it's fun to like have the good clean segments, but it's just, the world in which you get closer to your sum of bests is the world in which you play for 500 hours. I'm good. But yeah, GG's. Great game. Great game. Glad we did it. The Frostman skip? Yeah, you want to boot up that video? GG's.